Hold on, it's coming for the darling. Got a fool's gone jumble inside into a soul. 'Cause I know I see it all. It's part of my life. Got a wounded heart out here from the bones. I was different pain. So why did you ever sort it out? Come on, the road alone is aching. I won't ever let go. No, gotta go. I can't feel the storms got me. Never be the same. All the wicked honey cry. You ever been a butterfly cry, but you only need to hang to dry. so I said I've known such a dance. We gotta go. I wanna buy your dollar and take you home. I wanna buy you and take you home. You only know I've seen the windings of your cry. The soul disguised in nothing you ever I should know. Oh, your weakness shows through. Oh, your weakness. Did someone ever cover the stone on a fall? In such a time for all who know I've forgotten how we always say that till the seas whisper of a dream in my only heart. I've got to get home. I gotta be part of the winding of the clock is falling. Ocean comes over me. Hey, 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 ooh, and the words is in me. Hey, now then, myself. What if I don't need to come on home? You got no room, you gotta go down, shake your groove. I've got to feel, you got to feel your hold my hand on nothing will ever stay on the bone, the wall, the bones pile. Fuck off. Bones pile high, wicked right. By the time you get this message out, you're gone and you can be mine for a little while. For a little while, I've got no more. You can see the whispers, the timeless frequency. Got faces on my eyes, gonna see. And for me, what a wolf does to the sheep who told them to flee. Then I don't know. Come over everything. You gotta know the way the world is on. The old man dies upon the shade of the young, and the forest cuts through the last tree. It has from wall to wall. We all need to feel the chorus in our ears lies told to generations since silence. But no, you never know the ammo coming through our dark. I know you two generations. I don't hey, them all dry homes, them, tell them to tell them the lie to them. Asses is over now, the game is gone. You got to pack your bags and go. You got to get me out of here, or we will show them all. The land we flow again, we flow, flow again, we flow, flow, flow again, flow, flow, flow again, flow, flow again, flow, flow, flow again, flow again, flow again, across the land we stand there for and in between the way. I'm a strong, guiding stars will always show the way back to our home. She has a day lost in so much shadow. Show me how Anyone losing a mind today, call. Anyone losing a mind today, let it go. You got another on the way. Oh, sneeze, move, they cannot be streaming for. Is anyone lost a mind today? Mine today, yours today. Is anyone lost a mind today? Is it yours today or mine today or mine today? Losing your mind today, losing your mind today. Anyone losing your mind today? Is it yours or is it mine today? Is it yours or is it mine today? Is it yours or mine today? Ours today. Is anyone losing their mind today? Is it yours or is it mine today? Has anyone seen mine today or yours in the way of mine today? Losing your mind, losing your mind, losing your mind. If yours is the time, mine would be yours, yours would be mine, mine would be yours, your mine would be yours, mine you could lose. If you lose your mind, is it your mind? I'm just gonna wandering fool. I'm a wandering fool, lost in all I thought and all I knew. I need something new, I need something true, I need something like you. Every time I jump, I think I can fly, falling like the fly falls when it frozen time, buzzing in the time. There we go, lost in
I do for fun? Well, it's like, imagine if you're doing OnlyFans, right? You know what that is, where the girls show pictures of their feet, I think. I've never been there. It's like that, except I get paid nothing. And I think, by my recollection, it's got to be probably 700,000% more difficult. But fuck me, I'm happy for you to prove me wrong. Also, yeah, it's like that. And also, one of the other things that potential problems about what I've been doing is I think I might have pissed off a couple of like really big companies because of like some vaccine thing. I don't know, like I just wasn't keen on it. I wasn't keen on getting it. It's like when, you know, when someone offers you nuggets from McDonald's and you're like, nah, don't feel like nuggets. It's a lot like that. And I think I just kept saying that, but there wasn't really anyone there. And then I think that, I don't know, I've got a feeling maybe because no one was answering and then like it got too long and then I'd done too much and then it just got to like a weird escalation where like they just keep pretending that doesn't exist. That just seems a bit weird. But anyway, I think they're really pissed off. And fuck, if I had have known you'd get this pissed off, like I probably wouldn't have still wouldn't have got it, but I don't know. Maybe I would have offered you like one of my nuggets. Maybe that would have done it with a bit of sweet and sour sauce, because you've got to have sweet and sour sauce. And they fuck around. Have you ever noticed? Do you ever get like really, really obsessed with one particular type of sweet and sour sauce from one of these places where you get nuggets from? And they fucking change it and you're like, great, I had that sorted. I had sweet and sour sauce and nuggets sorted and you go and fucking change it. You selfish fuckwit. That's why I fucking hate these companies. You know what I mean? When they get too big, they just get fucking arrogant. Arrogant as fuck. Like they just go and change the fucking sweet and sour sauce without even asking you. I built my life on that sauce. I wrote 3 songs about that sauce and they go and fucking change it. And I recommended it. Now it tastes like shit. And now I've got to go to 2 different places and like make a concoction out of 2 fucking separate sauces just to get some amalgamation of this sauce that I grew up loving. Anyway, it's a sign of the fucking times. I can tell you that. I just had a thought just then. And what I thought was, I think I thought about maybe writing like a medical book. And on the bit where it says bipolar disorder, that bit, I'll write like a little addendum, like a little note that just basically says like that's kind of, this is an Australian colloquialism, by the way, used quite a lot, so you have to forgive me. But it's kind of similar to calling someone a cunt. Like, you know, when like someone just pisses you off and you're like, cunt, fucking cunt. You know what I mean? And you get shitty and then you kind of have a couple of deep breaths and then you kind of just forget about it. It's like that, except people get this is crazy. People get together, like usually members of your family and like just a random community, you know what I mean? Like this weird little collection of people, and they decide that you're weird. You're a bit different. And then they like force you in this weird, twisted way by like saying it's in your interest and then making you addicted to these like drugs that like ruin your life. Basically forever. I think. Like they just lower your, you know what I mean? They interfere with like the natural thing that you do and just kind of put you in this stupor. I've observed. And it's like akin to, do you know what I mean? Some pretty serious shit. Like compared to like kicking someone's head in, I'd say that's way worse. Like I'd say it's very hard to comprehend, especially like as you stack the years up, all those years, like year after year after year. And it's weird because it's like, it wasn't that they didn't give permission for that. It's weird. It's very weird. Reminds me of like, I don't know, like abuse. It sounds like abuse. It sounds similar to abuse to me. It sounds like on a similar kind of level to that. I don't know if you agree. Like I think it's kind of like if like it's honestly a little bit like if you locked someone in a basement or something like that. I think, and like turned the light on and off, and it's very I'd say it probably definitely qualifies as abuse, especially if there's like some kind of foreign company, like you're soliciting like two professionals to kind of do away with this person, this interfering person. That sounds like a fucking organized crime to me. Like it sounds like you know what I mean? Like you're paying, or if it was like the government was involved, that would almost be like the government was assisting people to like forcibly lock their family and friends in like jail. Like they pay for them to go. They haven't done anything wrong. They haven't done anything legally wrong. But there was just this other way to like sort it out, which was like fully accepted just in the world for ages. Like that was honestly a thing. There's still a lot of people in that, the same as there's still people in jail for weed, which is fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like honestly, I can buy enough alcohol to drown a fucking, like to literally kill a fucking high school football team for like $100, I think. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a bit of an overstatement, but it's not a lot of money. You know what I mean? It's like fucking alcohol. The amount of people I know that have died from alcohol related, like either like disorders or fucking like accidents. It's like, it's fucking insane. It's like it's everyone. Basically. Everyone I know who's had a fucked up thing is always alcohol involved. Always. Every fucking time. You can buy it everywhere. There's people in jail for selling weed. Isn't that fucking crazy? There's people in jail for selling weed, and there's people fucking making millions, if you get to the extreme of it, millions of dollars off like forcible fucking chemical, I don't know, like chemical prisons. And they're like, it's so crazy that it legally is above anything else. It's fucking insane. So anyone who's, you know, plays the race card on me, this is fucking way worse. Trust me. And the weird fucking thing is, I've got like half this and half like this super pompous like dad that was born like in the Great Depression, who's like very English. So it's fucking weird. Okay, like this is crazy. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like and it just took me like this long to figure it out. And it's a long story, but that's fucked up. Like you guys are fucked. Honestly, we're gonna fucking roll you into the ground everywhere. You're done. You gotta stop now. Honestly, You got no fucking hope in hell. Not one little fucking percent of hope to get the fuck out of this. So what you do is you put your fucking hands up in the air and you say, I surrender. Every single one of you. Right now. That's the only fucking solution. If you've been pulling this shifty shit, you kind of know, like, have a little dive. I'd recommend you just fucking take 5 minutes and look at yourself if you're giving out this advice and just be like, would the way this man described what he just described with that, does that sound like me? And then take a deep breath, don't do anything fucking crazy, and then like implant yourself into the system that you've been doing and just deal with it. You know what I mean? Because it's not going away. Like, that's going to be there. If you've been fucking around with people's like health and you kind of dig just that little bit. Like, I know right now, I ripped I think 6 people off. It's just killing me. I didn't really rip them off because I've got the money. It's complicated. Like, I consider myself in some type of war right now. So fuck anyone who has a whinge about temporarily not getting some money. They will definitely get money. And under the circumstances, I'm going to take my fucking time because this is a war. So, yeah, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? You know what I mean? Or how about this? I just start a fucking profession. I've been doing this for ages. Like, honestly, you can document all the thing on like social, whatever, confidence, online or camera angle. I don't know. Fucking who knows? It's mostly the mindset of being able to be free on here, because that actually takes a while. I could coach that. I could definitely coach that. It's a whole process. It's fucking crazy. It's not just a simple thing. I know a lot of you maybe just think, oh, he's really outgoing. He does a lot. It's like, nah, it's this whole like weird fear process. Sorry, I'm moving the camera around. That's probably very, very annoying. That's why I want to do that thing. Remember? It's called Scale Matters. I forgot. No, I didn't forget. It's fucking, long story. But that would be better. It'd be better than this. It'd be better than like sitting in a fucking chair and moving the thing around. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think about my description of that? Like, it sounds like it's like the stolen generation of like average. It's going on with them as well. Like, this is fucking multiracial, multi-generational. It's just fucking a big old mess. But when there's drug companies in there, and it's like this level, it's like, you fucking get the fuck out of here as quickly as you fucking can. Because you got no idea what's coming.
I just thought of something then, which I wanted to talk about, to do with a personal issue, like with between marriage and kids and parenting and all this stuff. And I just think it's an interesting topic. Like, it kind of ran into my head and I was like, yeah, I'll try and have a chat about it. And it's that so as a man and as a father, when I think about how my instincts work and how my intuition works, it's not as straightforward as like it's kind of made out to be. It's like if we are looking after children and a wife or a woman or a girlfriend, whatever it is, that's a thing that we do. We do it instinctively. We don't need to be told by a government to do it. We don't need to be made to do it. If you're a man and you show that's what you do for a long period of time, that's what you do. Do you get what I mean? It's different if they kind of immediately don't hold up that responsibility. That's a different thing. But if you have a proven record of putting your family first, that is huge. And then what I think happens, it's like when the law comes into it. So if there are any women out there trying to actively keep their children away from their father who has a proven record of like showing concern for the children, if they're trying to receive any resources from that person while simultaneously doing any measures to disrupt their, like, whether their reputation or their, you know, like their access to children or legally or their anything like that, then that should immediately void them from attempting to receive any compensation from that parent. Like, how is that not a thing? How can someone, it's like literally robbing someone and degrading them at the same time. And there's no difference, especially if there is a new partner involved. That is crazy. That is two people, generally, what I've seen, two people ganging up to destroy the reputation of an individual whilst simultaneously trying to gain resources off them. How can that exist? And if there is any request of a government intermediary, like child support or something like that, when there is a proven record, like substantial record of like, especially like maybe over a decade, this is just speculative, you know, this isn't, I'm not talking about anything is particular, but say there's like over a decade of like proven resource management of that person putting their children first and their ex-partner first, then how can we be in a society where that person, once in a new relationship, is both trying to receive resources from that person, especially I think if that person now is shown to be in a consistently higher status, or like is better off now than the majority of their previous relationship, because as people get older, they get, you know, life gets a bit easier financially when you make a bit more money and all these things. So then how are those two individuals then using these methods to both like destroy a reputation of the previous individual and receive resources off them and restrict access? Like those three things, especially when done as like a team, when people are teaming up to do that, that's not legal. That is the definition of not legal. Like that is like organized destruction of an individual. These aren't family law court proceedings anymore, because we don't live in that world anymore where the majority of that makes sense. If you know what I mean, we're not in like, that's just two people ganging up on one person and stealing their children and then trying to steal money off them because they don't want the care or the access. They don't want the individual. They just want your resources. How is that any different? Like that's war. That's war. It's like targeted war. And I think it gets really weird, especially in countries like Australia, if you start going back and looking at where these demographics are. Like, say you had two individuals from a known place in the world, and so even weirdly, imagine you had two individuals and one of them had clear ties to some type of like, I don't know, terrorist organization or something like that, like known terrorist organization. Say there was direct ties to a known terrorist organization, and then those two people organized themselves and actually paid money to both, and then used government resources to discredit an individual whilst trying to steal their money and restricted the thing that the money's there for. I'm trying to find a path through that. If there's any legal people that can explain that, how that can exist. Because otherwise, it's like, what's to stop me just... Imagine I just went from town to town in third world countries with, do you know what I mean? Like, and then went for like single mothers and then like gave them enough resources to like steal the children and sue their ex, and like, just imagine I just kept continuously doing that. That wouldn't be great. Like, it's not really a good thing to destroy, like, these, like, the idea of a family needs to be extended to like a big fucking floating around thing. It should be a direct net. Like, the way I think of family, and this is, I don't know whether this is legally protected. It's like a family is a structure that cares for in a reverse kind of pyramid, it cares for the youngest people, with all the resources caring at the youngest people. If that isn't what it is, that's not a family. And if you get competition within that, and in my opinion, if that can be proven to be destructive to the overall goal of the family, then you're not in family court. You've jumped out of family because something about the actions has not been in the interest of those individuals who it should be, and you've destroyed a structure that was inherently there to protect those individuals. And then if you're in care of those individuals, like, it's just, I just wish people, especially really people that think they want to jump into legal shit, I wish they would take a bit of time to think these things through a bit more carefully. Like, if you were actively come into a relationship and you destroy a structure that was there specifically in the interest of the dependents that you are now like a pseudo guardian to because of like relationship or marriage, and you destroy a structure that is there purely for if you come in and attack a structure that is there purely for the benefit of the individuals of the marriage that you have married into, I can't see how you're not in deep, deep trouble there. I can't see how you're not, especially if it was some type of like corporate, like, some kind of structure that had been created like legally, and if you came in and caused deliberate harm in that for some weird reason to disrupt that structure underneath, I'm very certain that that may be unlawful. And so I would suggest to anyone in that position, maybe dig into that whole region of something you probably haven't thought about, and think about whether you may be in that position. And then, maybe think about adjusting any type of legal things that you have pursued in the past, because they may be used as like evidence to the fact that you were using a legal system illegally. You can do that. You can actually use the legal system illegally, and that's illegal. It's a real bummer. That's where you got to be careful. As soon as you hire a professional to try and hurt someone in any way, be careful with that kind of behavior. I thought I would do like a medical explanation from a clear standpoint, just for perpetuity, of the feeling of nicotine withdrawal for anyone that hasn't experienced it. You know what I mean? There's all types of acceptable drugs that we have, and for some reason nicotine, obviously because of the dangers of the smoke, people were inhaling in massive numbers, and it was causing a lot of trouble, so we condemned the substance nicotine in relation to cigarettes. But nicotine is the active ingredient that's been obviously used for a reason. Like, society doesn't just keep things around like that. We would have evolved away from tobacco if it was causing this thing. Probably the more important thing is, as age, life expectancy increased because of different things, the actual effects of the smoke to do with tobacco became more prevalent because people were living longer and then experiencing those things. If people were dying when they're 30, they didn't really notice that they had lung cancer on the way. You know what I mean? But nicotine was useful. Now, it seems to me that we've found a healthier replacement, in my honest opinion. Just anecdotally, if I had to put a number on it, it's 1,000 times better for me to receive nicotine via vaping, especially if the levels aren't too high, which sometimes some of these disposables are. But the feeling, what I wanted to get into today, the feeling of nicotine withdrawals, if you're using that to maintain like a level like a lot of other substances that are whatever. The fact that that becomes, at the moment, a lot of smokers will smoke about a pack a day. That's kind of their requirement for nicotine, because they're, you know what I mean? So that is a $60 a day medical treatment now that is being held over by our government. And the feeling of nicotine withdrawal is similar to like the urgency. I would compare it to like, and this, you know, this is also like, obviously the ideal is to not be on any substances, but if you've found yourself in a place where nicotine is helpful to you, even if it's not, you know, whatever, there's lots of substances like that that are freely available, and that becomes a $60 a day. It's the equivalent of, you know, the feeling when you leave the oven on, like 100 times a day. And that is a $60 a day habit that is being sold by our government under the illusion of healthcare. I don't know whether you've looked at the research of like financial stress on mental health, but it's up there. And then stress in general, in all other health things, is probably the major concern. So what exactly are you doing? Like government of Australia, government, federal government, state government, what are you doing? Are you a drug cartel? You know what I mean? Are you literally holding these substances? Like, what is your thoughts behind this? Like, and yeah, where did I consent my authority on how, you know what I mean? I didn't give you the authority to govern over me in that regard, ever. I don't think any of my family members did. I think you just kind of claimed it and started doing it, and no one told you off. And this is me telling you to fuck off. Like, get out of those issues. They are not anything to do with you. They are not public health issues. They're individual health issues. And you need to stay the fuck out of it. The same as you need to stay out of religious issues. How you decide to navigate your life and the substances that are freely available to you on this planet, that's an individual choice. That's got nothing to do with government. Or just keep going. Keep going. Make them $100. You know what I mean? Just take over vapes that are even more addictive or even more fucking strong, even more potential, and then just tax the hell out of them. You know what I mean? Just keep everyone on that fucking leash you got. The old colonial thing. That's what you're doing, except the problem is, it's like, we've come full circle. You're trying to feed on people that are getting blamed. Like, I'm trying to get blamed for being a colonizer, and then getting the same thing done to me back. It's like, fuck off. Throw the whole lot out. Get out of our shit. Shrink that fucking thing down. It's, what the hell? How did you get involved in this? I did not give you permission. You know what I mean? My authority, it's like, where's your authority? What is it like? Read your oath. You know what I mean? Every single person. Read the oath. Read the oath that you took. Clearly. Every word of it. And then broadcast it out to see, is that what you're doing? That's important. If you read an oath, that's how this shit works. It's all words. If you've read an oath, you're in clearly breaking that oath in that position. I give no authority to you. You've clearly, like, I have eyes, ears, and you know, senses. I can pick up on that. I know you're breaking your oath. I can prove it. It's very easy. Therefore, you are illegitimate in my eyes. There is no doubt about it. You are not acting in the interest of the people. There's nothing, like, you created fear. Without fear is in your oath, and you created division. And you favoured certain individuals, a lot of them company individuals, and then disfavoured citizens of this place that you're meant to be governing over. You were clearly in breach of your oath in every sense of it. Every word. You were in direct, like, you're directly breaking the words you spoke, to the promise. So yeah, as soon as I see that, There's no authority. As far as I consider it, we're a floating state right now. In the, you know, probably actually I'd consider it that we're observing the dissolution, like the dissolvement of a failed tyranny. And we're just, you know, we're somewhere along that trail of disclosure within that. But you clearly have no authority. You were just, but maintaining to project authority way out, and there's no opposition. I don't know what you call this. Where are you going? As far as I don't assume you're in control, like any of the state government representatives. I don't think you're at all in charge of anything military or anything. I don't know what you're doing. You have a police force, but what are you going to do? What's the police? Do you know what I mean? You really think the police is going to double down and do this again? No way. Every police officer I've spoken to is like, oh God, I can't believe what they made us do. Because what are you doing? Anyway, just some thoughts. There's fucking a lot of these. I've got to share them. I've got to figure out how to do it. Because I haven't got any money, because I've put my entire life on hold to bring these things to light. It's fine, you know what I mean? I can figure it out. Hence the nicotine withdrawal, because I can't afford nicotine. Even in its affordable way, that it's like, you know, that's more important. It's a bit annoying. And I don't like a substance that I'm using that has a proven like thousands of year track record of being used by people doing exactly what I'm doing, and I don't like it being demonized.